Accurascale's Mk2B coaching stock have been long anticipated by modellers. Likewise have these Irish Mk2bs under their Irish Railway Models brand. Now that we have them on our layouts, how do they live up to expectations? And how do they compare to some of the other premium coaching stock that is out there? It's time to take a closer look. Hi, thanks for joining today's video. We'll kick off with our usual unboxing, and then we'll get into some close-up views, and we'll do these across a number of the different coach types to get an idea of the different coaches. Then get into our running session, followed by our summary, scoring, and final recommendation. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, we've come to do this unboxing for these Mark II coaches from Accurascale, or Irish Railway Models as they are in this case, the branding, because these are Irish models, Northern Ireland. So really looking forward to these. They come in these 3 packs, and I have purchased all three of this particular set, which will give me the full train configuration. So let's open this guy up and start to see what we've got inside. So really looking forward to these. These should be, I think, really a new standard of coach, I think, is kind of what a lot of us are expecting here. So let's just see. So we'll open this guy up. We can take him out. And so let's just see what we get here before we look at the coaches themselves. We've got couplers in here, which is kind of fine. We'll see in a minute when we take the coaches what's on them. And the springs and everything in there. So you've got the replacement spring returns, which is probably no harm because those can break or you can lose them if they come off. We've got some buffers, spare ones, I suppose, if in case you lose them, and a little bit of pipe detail. Again, to be welcomed, because these are things that you, again, as I said, would lose. Let's just see what they say here. There are multiple options. Buffers, copies. Let's see the reverse the card for further detail. Okay. So we shall take a look at that. Okay. Now I might like to look at adding some magnetic couplers in time for these. So, but we'll look at that in due course. Now you get this. It's kind of like a little magazine actually. Which showing these, which is quite nice, and showing blowouts for getting spare parts. I guess this is really to be welcomed. This is kind of quite thick paper. Wow, a lot of parts there, and you can see the detail in the cab area, right? So this is obviously from a brake coach. You've got all the grills. You've got the tables, look like they're all separately fitted parts. So this is kind of, I suppose, giving you an idea of how much detail is in this particular model when they show you the blowout like this. This is for the open coach. And again, you can see that you've got all separate tables in there in the center area. So we're looking forward to looking at the detail there. And you've got the last one here for the grill coach, as they call it. It's kind of a restaurant coach, buffet coach. And we'll be looking at that as well. So, wow, this looks like, okay, it's got all the other ones as well. The FK, the first coach, I guess, and the driving coach. I suspect that's what this is. Okay, so it looks like it's the one booklet. It covers all of the different coach types, which is fine. So the lighting, there is lighting in these, and so activating it, looks like you move your wand in the center area, which will activate and deactivate the lights in that area, and then you can do a separate. They've got some separate lighting in the guards area, which is kind of interesting. So they're trying to, I suppose, replicate the capability that you have on the Bachmann DCC lighted coaches, where you can turn on the lighting in the different areas. Okay, so we'll see how that works later on. Okay, so that's a nice piece of documentation to get, and that's always welcome. So let's open these guys up and start taking a look at them. So let's just see what we've got here. So maybe we'll start at the bottom here and take this guy out. And they're nicely packed. and with a nice protective sleeve, which you always want to see because that'll protect the paintwork. So just don't want to damage any of the underbody detail. You can see there's quite a bit of underbody detail there. You can see that the bogies are separate from the couplers, so the couplers are, you can see them there, the spring return type, so you can close couple. So we've got that now. They actually do have the tension locks pre-fitted, so that's pretty good. Now I think we can kind of see the separate tables in there, and the seats actually look really nice. I like the kind of headrests and everything on the seats. So we'll see this a bit better maybe in the close-up and some of the other shots we take. The glazing looks really nice, and the kind of windows there in the middle, they look really, really good, as do the lavatory windows at the end. Paintwork looks really nice and clean, so that looks good. Let's see what we've got here. We've got the bulkhead, and that's a nicely detailed bulkhead. It's not, yeah, there's a lot of detail going on there, which again is to be welcomed. It doesn't have spring buffers; they're just fixed buffers. So again, that's kind of similar to the Bachmann DCC coaches, which were surprisingly weren't spring buffers. I'm looking at the lighting in here, so I can see the Stay Alive capacitors in here. I can see the lighting. And I guess the good news here is that there's multiple LEDs. I can see about 4, 8 LEDs at least, and there's ones then separately in the vestibule areas. So all of those are going to illuminate when we turn the lighting on. So that looks like it should be pretty interesting to see. So I think this coach looks really nice. The seats really impress me, and I think the rest of it looks certainly pretty good. So that's the first coach. Let's take a look at this grill bar coach. It's kind of, I'd say it's kind of like a buffet car. Is what you'd normally be talking about, and it's got obviously different seats, different tabletops. In keeping with the prototype, you've got the kind of kitchenette area in there, and you can kind of see that internal detail there with the counter and some sort of different seating in the back area here as well, kind of bar type seating, I guess. I miss these coaches. Don't have them anymore with the ICRs, etc. But I would have missed these on the. And I guess anybody who travelled the railways in the 80s and 90s would have been used to the experience of these types of coaches, and going down, getting a drink or getting a bit of food in one of these cars, and we certainly miss it. It's just not quite the same these days. And let me take out the last one. Let's take a look at this guy. And I can see the kind of no smoking labels. Obviously these were running at a time when people were still smoking on transport. Nice tabletops again. Again, slightly different seats. This must be the standard. The other one must be the first class. These seats look a little bit, they're nice from a modelling perspective, but they're a little bit more basic. So this is probably standard class coach. And again, the glazing there and the detail on the window and as I say, the no smoking sticker looks really, really nice. So these look good. Seeing them on the track now with the lighting on is going to be very interesting. And things like light bleed and all that kind of thing, we'll be looking for that, as well as just uniformity of intensity across the car, and just see how it looks, and obviously see how the rest of the internals look pretty okay. They should be fine when this is lit. I don't think there should be any major issues, so we shall see that. No, these look like good quality coaches. I think if I compare them to the coaches from Bachmann, the DCC coaches, certainly there's a bit of These look a little bit different, but these seem to be using a similar approach for the pickups. These are quite freewheeling. They're getting the pickups from the very ends there. You can see where the axles, they're getting picked up off the end. So it's effectively replicated pickups on all wheels. So that's good, and we do have a stay alive inside as well. So I think these should perform quite well from a lighting perspective. I think electrically they've got all the parts that they need, and I think there's sufficient connectivity to the track, and it's robust connectivity. That's a very robust type assembly, so that's not something that's going to cause you problems, I don't think, down the line. Okay, I think these coaches look really nice. Really excited to get them on the track. I've been waiting to get these for a while. I've resisted getting the older Lima ones, waiting for these, and I guess it's great that we have them now. So I have got the 3 packs for this, so we will have all the different variants. So we've only taken one example here, but maybe for some of the other photography I will use some of the other coaches in the series as well, so you can get to see some of the differences. And the driving car as well, we want to cover that one, so I'll make sure that's included in the close-ups, so we get to see, as I say, the variety of cars that are being supported, which is great too. It means they're giving a kind of comprehensive coverage of all of the cars, so basically you can create your full representative rake now, and you've got all the individual types of cars that you'll be looking for in that. Okay, so far so good. These look really good. I'm pretty excited to getting this train together and looking at these on the track and seeing where we go. Okay, so far so good. Okay, let's get into our close-up views. So we're going to pick a couple of these representative coaches to take a look at, and we'll do our usual view along the side here. And you can see the really nice finish, the very nice bogies there, the interiors, which look really good. I have to say, the interiors in these coaches I really do like. It's a good level of underbody detail, is prototypical, and the glazing is very clean, and those windows are very clean, and that's right across all the coaches. Really nice job done there. Overall, quite a nice look on this particular coach. This is one of the open coaches, obviously, and with the kind of blue seats. We'll see other ones with some different seating in them, and it does have the magnetic couplers actually added. You can see that here. Now we're going on another one. So we're going to take a look across this coach, and you can see some slightly different table detail here. This is the generator. So again, good level of detail overall, and some nice detail in this area, this kind of guards area, generator area. And obviously you've got the nice roof detail going with that. And the separately fitted grab rails on the door there. Again, nice glazing, really clean glazing throughout, I must say, which was really a good characteristic of this. And we'll see the roof in the next pictures. So now this is the grille car. And again, obviously quite a different interior with the kind of red upholstery. Again, the very nice bogies there. And again, some additional underbody detail on this one, obviously, because there's a bit more going on this particular coach. Those nice anti-smoking stickers on the windows. They're on a number of the different cars. Slightly different seating here, you can see. Again, to try to keep in with the prototype. And so again, very nice interiors in general. And the nice text there that's being called out. Really, overall, these are very nice coaches. Now, I did have difficulty getting pictures of the prototype coaches. This is an example of one. And I guess this is one that has different surrounds on the windows there. You can see it's actually a silver surround. In most cases, it's just the painted blue surround. And that's what's on all of the coaches in the set. It's got the kind of painted blue surround on the windows. This one looks like a grille car as well. And it does have that difference. Now, I've seen another photograph which does just have the blue surrounds of the actual separate car. But there is a difference there. So I really would welcome some feedback in the comments if people have familiarity, or if they have some other photographs that they could share. That would be great, just to get an idea if we've got a kind of a mismatch there for the grille car. Okay, so now we're going to do our kind of 360 views, and we've got one of the sets, the first packs here, and we're just going to go through that. And that's got two of these open standard opens, which were based on a kind of a first open. So I think this has got these larger tables in them. And you can see the generator coach there, which it does have seating in it, but then has the generator feature as well, kind of a half and half. So a very nice set there. This is the next one up, and this has got, again, some open coaches. You can see the smaller tables now in that coach there. You can just see them through the windows. They're very nice bulkheads at the end. I must say, I'm really taken with those bulkheads. And this has got the driving trailer actually on this one. You can see the window there and the driving trailer, and the guards area there, and the smaller tables as well in the rear of the driving trailer. So again, this is the three that form one of the packs that you get. And I think, again, very nice rendition. Really, all these coaches were so clean. The quality level on them was so consistent. All the liveries, all the glazing, all the interiors, all delivered on every coach to a high standard. This one has the grill bar coach, and as you can see, it has that blue surround on the windows. And literally not all of the coaches have that. So none of the coaches have an actual silver surround, as we saw in that photograph of the prototype. So I'm really trying to figure out, is that a bit of an anomaly or an oddball? You can see those windows there. It does look like that was a grill car that was we were looking at in that photograph. But again, these are very nicely rendered, and you can slightly different. You could see the red seats there, and again, a very nice interior as a result. And, you know, a good level of detail on the roof, and obviously people may be keen to weather those roofs. So we're going to get into the running session now. We'll keep it pretty brief. There is a full running session with, you know, that goes through all the startup sounds and everything. If you want to listen to those sounds on a Irish class 071 or 111 as these are. We've got the full 9-car configuration here with the Jenny at the start, and then our open coaches, the grill bar, you can see there. And we'll see the full rake now as we kind of go around here. They're close coupled with magnetic couplers, and I guess I started out using the tension lock couplers, which wouldn't be as closely coupled. But the real issue I had with the tension lock couplers is at speed. I got a couple of the rear coaches falling off the back of the train, which is not something that you want to have happen when you're running at speed, particularly on a circular or a circuit like this. That happened 3 times, and it was all down to the tension locks coming loose at the back end of the train, and the rear usually it was one rear carriage. In one case it was 2 carriages came off the back. So I really had to go and put the magnetic couplers on, and once I did that, I didn't have any further problems. I did a mix of magnetic couplers actually. I did some of the Hornby ones and some of the ones that come out of the box, and they're both equally good. So picking up speed here now up to the maximum prototypical speed. And these are really good. These are really smooth coaches, very low running resistance. They ran over everything I threw at them. I didn't have one issue with these coaches, either in forward or reverse direction in the push or pull mode. They're just a dream to run. I just found them so good. And you can see the rear one there with the rear lights on that driving trailer that's at the rear. And now that has a DCC decoder installed in it, and you have to do that if you're running this on DCC. If you don't, it'll actually make a noise on DCC, just an irritating noise. So you do need to put in a decoder to get that working properly. And you can see the lighting there. I think the lighting is spot on these. I really do. I think it's just at the right level. I'm very pleased with it. And there's a good distribution of LEDs throughout the coaches. So it gives a very good uniformity of light, good consistency, and it stays alive for minutes. So you're never going to have any flickering of lights with these coaches, which is superior to the Bachmann DCC coaches from that perspective, because they can flicker from time to time on dirty track. So overall, these look good, they run really well, but you do need the magnetic couplers. Do not run these with tension locks based on my experience, because as I said, the last thing you want is a couple of coaches coming loose at the back of a train and hanging out there in the middle of your layout. So just to collide with the next train that's coming, you just don't want that. Advice is to swap them out from day one and just run with the magnetic couplers, get the advantage of the close coupling as well. Why not do that from day one? So just coming to a halt here and the end of a very satisfactory running session. And every running session you have with these will be very satisfactory. So that's a very good running session indeed. So let's get into our summary. We've been looking at these Mk2B and Mk2C coaches from Accurascale / Irish Railway models. There's a range of livery options covering the Northern Ireland Railway Mk2bs, the Mk2B Intercities, the CIE Irish Rail Mk2bs and Mk2Cs, the British Rail Maroon, Network South East, Regional, and the British Rail Blue Greys. They also come in a range of coach types, such as the TSO, the FK, the BFK, Standard Open, Generator, which is in the Northern Irish Railways, and the Cafe Buffet cars, and a driving trailer, which is also in the Northern Ireland Railways. They all come in excellent prototypical paintwork and detail, and the detailing kits include magnetic couplers, spring return spares, and alternative buffers. They've got detailed interiors, both in the passenger and the brake areas, and the coach lighting works on both DC and DCC. Now, in the case of the driving trailer for the Northern Ireland Railways coaches, you do need a DCC decoder for that when installing it on a DCC layout. There's excellent lighting stability and coverage across each of the coach types, and there's zero light bleed. And they've got a wand on-off control, as well as a stay-alive capacitor in each coach. There's also provision for regaging for EM and P4, as with all of the Accurascale stock, which is to be welcomed. And the unboxed weight varies between 152 and 154 grams, depending on the coach type. Selling price for a pack of 3, and these are for the Irish coaches, is $199.99. For the UK coaches, they come in single forms, so you get a one-off for $59.95, and there's a 10% discount if you buy 2 or more coaches. So that actually gives a nice reduction on the price if you're going to do that. And those are all effective as of March 2024. Looking at the weighted scoring, so the running performance, as you'll have seen from the running session, is a 10 out of 10. It's on a par and equivalent to the Bachmann Mk2F DCC coaches. They're effectively the same. They use a very similar mechanism in the bogies for mounting the wheels from an axle perspective. And they have very minimal running resistance and very good running performance overall. So between radius 2, radius 3, running at all the different speeds, and also running them over various types of point work, including some of the older Hornby point work. No problems at all. So these are absolutely top-notch from a running performance perspective. Detail I'm giving 9 out of 10, which is up on the Bachmann coaches, because I do believe they are a little bit better from an appearance perspective, and the interiors are also superior. I think they are just that little bit better than their equivalents from Bachmann. Extras and variants is a 9 out of 10. The only main gap here is things like metal sprung buffers and passengers. That's really it. Everything else is there. And I think what is really good on these is you do get the magnetic couplers out of the box, and you also get the extra spare parts for the spring return couplers. There are things you don't get on the Bachmann coaches, for example. Now, the Bachmann does have superior lighting control because of the DCC functionality. So there's a trade-off between the two, and hence they effectively score the same on this. Build quality is a 10 out of 10. Again, 0 issues across the 9 coaches that I had in my rake. Packaging, documentation, 10 out of 10, comprehensive and very good packaging. And the price value at that $59.95 level, I'm giving it as an 8.5 out of 10. And if you get the discount, it's a 9 out of 10. I think it's a really good price for this quality of coach. It's very competitively priced. It's not cheap, and you won't find these discounted, or you won't tend to find them discounted because they tend to sell out. So you're never going to see them at lower than that price. I think this is a better way to price products at a very realistic starting point in terms of the recommended retail price, rather than having a crazy recommended retail price and then relying on flashy discounts to encourage people to purchase them. Overall score is really positive. It's probably one of the highest scoring models I've ever reviewed, and I guess that's not surprising given the quality and capability of these models. These really are superb coaches. I would put them down I'd count them as kind of reference stock. So once you get these coaches, or get your livery of interest in this coach type from Accurascale or Irish Railway models, I think you basically have your reference coaches for life. You're probably never going to need to upgrade them. You may put passengers and things like that in them. You may weather them. You're not going to have to do anything with the lighting, and the level of detail in the coach is excellent. So well done to Accurascale for that.
Looking at the weighted scorings, I kind of alluded to this in the previous slide. They're very similar because the backman coaches are very good and have a very good level of capability. So I guess you are seeing some slightly higher scores on the Irish Railway Models Accurascale side, and they are better value for money as well, and that ultimately gives them a better overall score. These are the premiership of rolling stock that you can purchase ready to run in 00 gauge. And I think the good thing about the IRM coaches, Accurascale coaches, is they're now going to be available in a lot more liveries than we would have got from the Mk2Fs from Bachmann. And I think that they've made the right kind of price trade-off in terms of the pricing that Accurascale and Irish Railway Models are using is more favourable. So they definitely deserve to come out on top on that basis. I have to admit that my overall expectations coming into this review were pretty high, with some lingering concerns still over the coach lighting based on the Mark V experience. Thankfully, those expectations were lived up to, and the coach lighting was equally on point, a significant improvement over the Accurascale Mark Vs. With an excellent livery finish and detail, combined with superb running performance, there was an awful lot to like about these coaches, and the cream on top is the coach lighting, which has a stay-alive capability that literally lasts for minutes. The included magnetic couplers are a must-have, but the spare parts for the kinematic coupling assemblies is a very welcome addition indeed, and unique from any manufacturer up to now. These are premium coaches, and while excellent value, they're still not cheap, and the entry point is all the higher given the 3 coach packs that they are sold in. This suits modelers like myself, but I can appreciate it creates an issue for modelers who would prefer to purchase 1 or 2 coaches at a time. Obviously, this is different for the UK coaches that are sold separately, so this isn't an issue for them. Once these coaches are offered in a livery that you're interested in, I have no hesitation in highly recommending them. They are a better cost-performance balance than the Bachmann DCC coaches, even though the latter still has the best-in-class coach lighting by any ready-to-run coach. I had 0 issues with running over Radius 2 and Radius 3 track, but just be sure to apply the magnetic couplers as per the experience I had in the running session. These coaches tick all the boxes for me, and at a competitive price for what they are. I can't wait to see what Accurascale Irish Railway Models do next on the coaching front. And on that point, I put a survey in the community page of the channel, so please check that out and cast your vote for the next type of coaches you would like to see from Accurascale. So what are your thoughts on these coaches? If you already have them, have they worked out for you? Have you encountered any issues that I didn't see? As always, please let us know in the comments. So thanks for joining today. Please drop a like if you found this video of interest. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. In the meantime, take care and happy modelling.